Hey guys, it's RadicalQuail here, and in this video I'm going to be telling you 10 tips that you need to know if you're a beginner in Hyperscape. These tips are going to help you a ton, and I really wish I knew them before and, like the first day I played. So yeah, let's get into it. Just so you guys know, none of these tips are in order. They're just 10 tips that I thought of. So yeah, let's get into it. Alright, the first tip I have for you guys is never use the salvo. The salvo is one of those splash damage guns in the game, similar to the Komodo and the Skybreaker, but it's by far, in my opinion, the worst of the three. It's a grenade launcher, but it works slightly differently than like grenade launchers in other games.
Really?
I don't really like how it works. It takes like, I don't know, a couple seconds to actually detonate the grenade. So the only time where it's really useful is if you're in a building with like multiple people, it'll do a lot of damage to them. But really, it's not very good at all. And I would suggest never using it, to be honest. I think it's the worst gun in the game. Alright, next up we have invisibility. Invisibility is the most overpowered ability in the game. As you can see right now, I'm actually using armor, but if you're in a fight and you're low on health and you need to run, invisibility will, like, 8 times out of 10, if you're good at escaping, you'll escape by going invisible. It's, in my opinion, by far the best ability. Many of the abilities are very good, but I think it's the best, and I think you always want to run it on your class. The third tip I got for you guys is always aim for the head. Every gun in this game that isn't splash damage, headshots are so important. The sniper can one tap if it's a headshot, and same with the shotgun. So you always gotta aim for the head. It makes you, like many other games, it makes you do a lot more damage. I don't know the exact multipliers for the guns for getting headshots, but I know it helps a lot, and if you want to laser someone, you gotta aim for the head. If you've never watched gameplay of this game before watching this video, you probably didn't realize how fast-paced it was, and definitely for me, it's the most fast-paced game I've ever played. I think it is the most fast-paced game I've ever seen as well. There's non-stop action in most games, and it's very, very intense. So one thing you gotta do is you always gotta be moving. You can never stand still, mainly just because people are so good at sniping in this game. Unlike me, I'm not very good at sniping. I'm more of a shotgun person, but you just never want to stand still. It's never a good thing. When you're trying to res someone, you gotta move around, you gotta, do stuff. You just can't stand still. I've died many times from that so far. Alright, the fifth tip I got for you guys is don't be too close to your teammates. Now, what I mean by this is, there are 3 guns in this game that I've mentioned multiple times that can do splash damage. It's the Komodo, Skybreaker, and the salvo. See, many people don't use the salvo, but quite a lot of people use the Skybreaker especially, and a few of them use the Komodo. And if you're inside of a building or just right next to your teammates and someone walks up to you with the Skybreaker and shoots you, all of your teammates, and including you, are going to be at half health if you get shot by one shot from the Skybreaker. So you never want to be like within 10 meters of your teammates. You always got to be close and working together, but you don't want to be too close to the point where someone uses a splash damage gun and just destroys your team. Tip number 6 kind of goes hand in hand, so I'm kind of doing 2 tips for number 6. You'll understand in a second. So the protocol, which is the sniper, probably one of the best guns in the game. I'm just very bad at using it myself. And the mammoth, my favorite gun in the game, the gun that I'm using right now, the shotgun, they can both one hit. In the case for the protocol, it's a headshot from anywhere if you have a max level protocol. And the mammoth, same thing, you need a max level mammoth, but you have to be very close to them. So just know that you can one hit people if you have those specific weapons. And what I was saying, how there were like 2 parts to number 6 was you have 120 health in this game, so the one hit does 120 health. I figured that out by doing the training. I'd actually suggest that if you haven't played a game yet, just go in the training, try out all the guns and abilities, and just kind of be slightly familiar with everything. So yeah, going on to tip number 7. This one is very important in my opinion. So what I have down is don't go for the crown when more than 3 teams are left alive. So if you don't know what the crown like round is because you haven't played the game yet, go search that up after you watch this video. But the crown phase is basically at the end of the game. It determines who wins the game. So say the crown's on the ground and there's 5 teams left. You never ever want to go for the crown in that situation, because people are just going to be like we're doing in this clip right here. We're just staying around the crown, making sure that nobody takes it, and we're just killing teams off. So that's what you want to do. You want to take all the teams out first, or as many as you can, and then when someone picks the crown up like they just did right here, you got to kill them so they don't win the game. When there's 3 teams or 2 teams, you can manage with the crown, you can run away. But when there's 5 teams like this, I think when the crown round started, I can't actually see it, but pretty sure we had a lot of teams left when the crown came down. So you don't want to rush it immediately. You want to kind of strategize, find a good spot, and then get the crown after there's not that many teams left. In this clip, as you can see, my teammate, my friend Owen, he's reviving me, but he's not just standing in one spot, he's moving around. And this brings us to our tip number 9. It's very important when you're reviving. Like I said, people are very good at sniping in this game, so when you're reviving a player, this goes with the not standing still thing. When you're reviving a player, you can move around. You can move around and go like in a circle around them while you're reviving them. You don't necessarily have to just stay there and hold F. So that is very, very important to do, and I would highly suggest that. Our final tip has to do with invisibility. As you heard me say earlier, invisibility is overpowered and is the best ability, and I'd suggest running it always. But it has one weakness, and that's when you're at the final stages of the game, fighting over the crown. Invisibility is basically useless at that stage. Why is that? Well, when you have the crown, your teammates and everyone in the game can see where you are, so therefore invisibility does nothing. So what I'd suggest is running something like armor, and then something like stuff like I have here. Look, I have armor and I believe that's slam. Ooh. Yes, that's slam. That would be a good class, armor, because you know you take more damage before you die, and then slam to just escape. As you see, we just got that win right there. So yeah, I definitely suggest doing that. Get rid of invis right before the end. And yeah, that's my 10 tips to help you get good at hyperscape. Thank you guys for watching this video. It honestly means a lot. And if you want to, please like and subscribe, and comment, give us feedback. You know, tell us, did you like this hyperscape video? If you want more, please let us know. If you want Escape from Tarkov, if you'd rather have that, also let us know. But right now, I'm just trying stuff out, seeing what I like and what you guys like. Alright, see you guys later.